We're going to start this video with problem number 11. It says y varies inversely, which is y equals k over x. So it starts out with y equals 2 when x is equal to 25. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 25. And so 50 equals k. Then I have y equals 50 over x. And then it says find x when y is equal to negative 40. Multiply both sides by x and divide by negative 40. And x equals negative 1.25. And that's it for problem number 11. If you need it as a fraction, you just hit math enter enter, and you get x equals negative 5/4. 12. Y varies jointly with the cube of x and the square of y. Let's try that again. The square of z. So for the first part of the problem, it says y is equal to negative 9. We don't know what k is. X is equal to negative 3 cubed. And z squared is equal to, or z is equal to 2 squared. So we wind up with negative 9 equals k times negative 108. When I put this in my calculator, and then I divide by negative 108, and k is equal to 1/12. So y equals 1/12 x cubed z squared. For the next part of the problem, we have y equals 1/12. Where'd the squared go? X is now equal to negative 4, and z is equal to negative 3. When I multiply this all together, I get y equals, making sure you have the cubed and the squared here, because that's a lot of times where people make their mistakes, negative 48. For this problem, we got 27, 8 to the 6 to the 1/3. And so when I do this, 27 to the 1/3 power turns out to be 3. I multiply these two numbers. 6 times a third is 2. So we got 3a squared. The easy thing to do here is the x to the 12th, because I have two sets of x's, so there's going to be an x squared on the outside. And when I break down 8, it's 4 times 2 and 2 times 2, which means we got the 6th root of 2 to the 3rd power. Because these numbers are both reducible by 3, basically this became a 1, and this became a 2, but we don't need to write the 1 and the 2 in the problem. So here's my simplified version, number 13b. For this next problem, we got 1/8 x to the 5th square rooted equals 4. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this 1/8 on the outside. I'm going to multiply by 8. So I got the square root of x to the 5th equals 32. Now I'm going to square both sides because I want to get rid of the square root. So this turns out to be 1024. Now I'm going to take the 5th root of both sides. to get rid of the fifth. Or, for those of you who don't know how to use the fifth root, you could just take both sides to the 1/5 power, same thing. And 1024 to the 1/5 power turns out to be 4. Alright, for the next one we have a car depreciates value. And so this is the formula that we use for when it depreciates value per year. Now, we're trying to figure out how much our car is worth, so it starts out worth $20,000, and then my rate is decreasing, so I use the minus. 20% is 0.2, and we're going to do it for 2 years. Once I put this all in my calculator, I simply get N equals $11,934.55. In problem number 16, we're compounding continuously, and when I compound continuously, that's the per equation. So I start out with 5,000 E. The rate is 5.8%, so I change that to be 0.058. Remember, move the decimal place over 2 spots. And T is 15 years. So, once again, we can just plug this into our calculator, and we get Y equals sorry, I wrote down the wrong answer for the last one. I was looking at the wrong problem. This should have been 12,800. Sorry, my mistake on that one. And then for this one, we have our $11,934.55. Problem number 17, we have the log base 8 of 512. And anytime I see a problem like this, I'm just going to use my change of base formula. There's other ways to do it, but the simplest one is to just let the calculator do all the work, and the answer turns out to be 3. For number 18, we got the log base 1/2 of x is equal to -4. So for this one, because we have a log problem, I change it into an exponential. So I got 1/2 to the -4th is equal to x, and when you put 1/4 to the -4th, 1/2 to the -4th in your calculator, you get x is equal to 16. For number 19, if they ask you something as nice as log of 0.014, you just type this in your calculator using the regular log button. This is like log base 10, and the answer will turn out to be -1.8539. For problem number 20, we have the log base 49 of 343 is equal to x. For this side, for the left side, all you have to do is change that to be the change of base formula. Which means the log of 343 divided by the log of 49, and it turns out to be 1.5, or if you need it as a fraction, it'll give you 3/2. And that is it for this video.